haven't earned the ability to grieve the way that I want to grieve. I want to be able to have justice first.
Oh, man, that was the heartbroken father of a University of Idaho student, one of 4 murdered in their sleep earlier this month. Police now getting ready to release the crime scene once investigators finish examining the site and collecting any evidence. Joining us now, former FBI investigator Bill Daly. Just absolutely heartbreaking, Bill, to hear from that father there who, not only lost his child, but still has no answers and no suspect in custody. How are we here this far out from when this happened?
Well, Sandra, first of all, this is a very complex scene. In other words, what I'm saying here is that it's not something where it's a single family home where you have a couple of, you have a pet and a couple of people living there. This is one that has had multiple people visiting and multiple tenants. Who knows the last time it was cleaned? You have hairs, fibers, fingerprints, maybe other DNA that's around. And for police and forensic experts to sort through this, it takes a while. So this investigative onion, if you will, is taking a while to reveal itself. At the same time, there's no individual suspect that's kind of jumped out, either by past behaviors, comments, threats, or what have you, that they kind of be able to kind of focus in on. It appears as though it's someone further back around the orbit of one or several of these people who may be responsible for this.
So I was hoping to learn something here when they say they're close to releasing the crime scene. Does that mean that they're close to turning over that house to its owner, assuming the kids were renting from a landlord there, that's it? People come in and clean and this is done? The search inside that house is done?
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, there could be a reason why, if there's a prosecution put forward, they need to go back and either take photos or do something else in the home.
Because the cars are still parked outside of the students who were killed.
So what it means, Sandra, is at this point what they've done is they've contained the crime scene, they preserved it as best they can.
Yeah.
And now they're ready to say, we've collected all the evidence we feel as though we can collect here, and now turn it over to the owners to clean up and put it back into shape.
Correct me if I'm wrong, with the slow release of information from the authorities, which could be a strategy, right, on their part, to protect what they know, to not let on to the suspect that they know the information they have. But there's a lot of rumors out there and a lot of room for speculation. And now these rumors have been debunked by the police there in Idaho, including that red Mustang that was near the scene. They say that was not involved. There was a February overdose death in town. They're saying that was not related. This case, they are saying, is not linked to any other murders. That is interesting to me that they can rule that out without having the suspect in custody, but you tell us in a second. The victims were not tied or gagged, and the dog skin nearby, which we all knew that story initially, is not connected to this. So tell me your thoughts based on those debunked rumors.
Well, first of all, a lot of those rumors are ones that just been kind of created and floating around. They've never come from some authoritative body. The other crimes that were committed, the ones in Washington and Oregon, they've ruled those out because they've probably looked at the forensic evidence, they've combed through it, and they've kind of said, no, this does not match the profile. And at the same time, talking about profile, the FBI does have their profilers and their behavioral analysis people involved in this case, so they too have been able to kind of weigh in on what things get ruled in and ruled out. But it is something at this point that is not something that's, we can tell right now, is solved in a 60-minute melodrama television production. This will take a while. The crime scene was probably very complicated, as I mentioned before, about other factors of people being in the home previously, as well as mixture of DNA and separating those.
I've got to leave it there. Are you confident that they'll find the suspect?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
All right, Bill, good to have you on set here today. Thank you very much.
Good to be here.
All right.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.